go ahead and your normal protocols with player questions. Jim, go ahead and lead off.
Hey, Caleb, hope you're doing well. Just talk a little bit about what it felt like getting in the game last Saturday and what was leading up to you finding out that you were going to be the starting kicker.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was great to get in and play a game. I've been waiting for that time for a long time. It'd been 893 days since I played in any game. And like, for those that remember me in high school, that's ridiculous for me. And then Snapchat just reminded me 3 years ago today was our last football game my senior year. So like just all that time off, like all the time not being in games, just watching games. It was a big change for me coming from playing 3 games a week in high school. Like it was amazing to get out there. Obviously the circumstance that it happened in aren't the best, but I mean, I'm going to take my opportunity and run with it.
I noticed also that a couple times during timeouts, you were out on the field looking at the goalpost, kind of just warming up. Were you kind of just sizing up the wind and seeing what possibilities would lie ahead?
Yeah, I think that started with Chase McLaughlin here. I remember my freshman year during timeouts, he'd be out on the field just like taking his steps, just kind of like feeling it, visualizing it. And I was like, oh, well, I'm kicking today, so maybe I should go out there and like get a feel for it and just make sure that when I get out there for my opportunity, I'm comfortable out on the field.
Thanks, Caleb. Appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you, Jim.
Hey, Caleb. I know this is something that you've been looking forward to for a long time. What was the feeling like for you, stepping out on, no fans really there? Did that kind of change maybe just kind of that moment for you at all?
Yeah, I mean, obviously everything in 2020 is different, but I was thinking about it. I probably have more kicks on this field with no fans than anyone ever. I mean, I've been coming here kicking in the summer since my sophomore year of high school. And I mean, I come over every time we're on a break. I can come 30 minutes and just kick in the stadium with my dad, my friends. Like, I'm used to kicking in the stadium with no fans. I was excited for my first opportunity to be with some fans, but then I probably would have been a little bit more nervous. But I got out there and I was like, dang, this is just like kicking with my dad. Like, felt good.
And mentioning your dad and your family being so close, were any of them able to make it out? I don't know exactly what the timeline was like in terms of, getting some family access. Did you have anyone in the stands for you?
Yeah, my dad, my uncle, my sister, and my mom were there. My mom wasn't scheduled to come to the game. She had other plans, but I called her Thursday night and I was like, Mom, I don't want to ruin your Saturday plans, but I'm starting on Thursdays or on Saturday. So if you want to come to the game, I got a ticket for you. And she jumped right on it because she had to be there for that moment.
Thanks, Caleb.
Yep, thank you.
Caleb, hope you're well, man. Is this quarantine flow, by the way?
Yeah, I haven't cut my hair since March 10th, I think.
You said the day count. Is that like, did you type it into Google or is that something you had already been marking?
Yeah, I mean, for a while after this past season, after my sophomore season, my phone lock screen was 25 because that was the amount of games that I'd been here for and didn't make an impact, like I wasn't on the field. And then Thursday when I found out, I was like, all right, now I know for sure that I'm going to play. Let's see how long it's been since I've had any competition. And that was regionals of baseball my senior year. It was 893 days. And I mean, it's for me, it's just like any competition. Like before the game, I watch Grayson Allen highlights. Like I do it before every game. Man, I know it doesn't really correlate to a kicking position, but that was my idol growing up, and just seeing him compete, I was like, I need to have that same fire, same energy when I'm out there.
And I know you probably wanted to win this job a little earlier, but how did you kind of handle that? Being a teammate with James, but also trying to beat him out.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I went into fall camp last year thinking I was going to be the guy, and then I didn't perform and he performed, and I was like, all right, now I gotta do a different role. I gotta be there to help him. I gotta be there to help Blake. I mean, I said to people, I was like an intern for the last 2 years. If anyone knows me, they know like I'm probably going to get into coaching after this. And so the last 2 years, I've just been helping out, coaching, doing whatever I can, helping scout team, helping look teams, like doing whatever I can to help the team. And then finally, this past week I got my shot, and I just had to take my opportunity, and hopefully I can do the same thing this week.
And just how did the first extra point, extra field go? How did you feel?
Yeah, it felt great. I mean, me and Blake have a little thing we talk about as we're running onto the field every time in practice, and we did it last year in fall camp. Like, so we went out there, just messed with each other for a second, and then it's like, oh, we're here. Like, let's get the job done. And it felt great. I mean, you guys probably saw my kickoffs, and I hadn't hit those in practice in a while. I think I had a little bit of juice in my system.
Thanks, Caleb.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good morning, Caleb. You said you've probably kicked more in Memorial Stadium. Do you remember how old you were the first time you went over there and started kicking in an empty stadium?
The first time I came over and started kicking, I came to a camp my freshman summer. Like after my freshman year, going into sophomore year, I came to a camp that summer, and I kicked at camp, and then I came back the next 2 years I was able to. But as soon as I committed in, what was it, January of 2018. As soon as the weather got nice, I was over here kicking in the stadium with my dad. Like, I'd bring my friends over, we'd kick in the stadium. Like, I'm really comfortable just kicking in an empty stadium.
This might be a weird question, but logistically, how does that work? Like, are you able just to walk in? Did you have to set it up? Like, how'd that go?
Yeah, I mean, once I was on the team, I just came in. Like, I knew how to get in and came in, kicked whenever I wanted to, probably 2 or 3 times a week. The only time that I wasn't able to was during quarantine. They locked the stadium and everything. So that was rough. I mean, you guys have probably seen I kicked on the street. Like, I did whatever I could, but that was a tough time because I wasn't able to get over here like usual and kick in the stadium.
My last thing for you is you played basketball, you played baseball. Have you lobbied for any fakes to show some athleticism? I mean, are you in that stage yet?
No. I mean, I'm just here to kick. I'm trying to kick and put some points on the board, and now I have my opportunity. So this week, I'm just hoping to make as many field goals as I can.
Thanks, Caleb.
Yep, thank you.
Caleb, I wanted to ask you about that second drive. I mean, there's a point where Illinois was on the 33. It would have been about a 50 to 51-yard field goal. What was going through your mind, and what was going through all the communication? Because I assume that's within your range, and you would have been prepared to go out there and attempt a 50-yarder in your first college kick.
Yeah, my mindset was kick it. I mean, I was trying to get the kick. I had all the juices flowing. I was ready to go. It's funny because the week before Wisconsin, James and I were talking because his first made kick was like a 53-yarder at UConn. And Chase's first kick was like a 49-yarder or something. And he said to me at Wisconsin, he said, watch, he said, your first field goal is going to be 45 plus. Like, that's just how it works here at Illinois. Like, your first kick is going to be a pretty long kick. And I was like, let's go. Let's start right away, hit a 51-yarder and get the team going. But I mean, we've made the right decision. Punted it, got him down at the 3. So obviously I wasn't mad at all with the decision.
And how has your mindset changed? At Lovey and a lot of the coaches this week have talked about guys that have gotten time in the first few games, Karan Taylor, some other guys that were able to get in these first couple of games, and then their mindset changes and they're almost a different guy coming into the building the next week. Have you kind of felt different since you've been out there and been able to compete?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like I think Karan said earlier in the week, stay ready. You won't have to get ready. And that's been all of our mindsets. But when we found out Thursday that it was our time to go, like, obviously I couldn't put it out there on social media and tell people I'm starting, but I called on my family, called on my friends, and I was like, hey, like, make sure you tune in. Like, this is going to be good. And then, I mean, I got out there, was able to perform, and I've always considered myself a leader, but it's hard to lead when you're the backup kicker for 3 years. You can only do so much. So I think getting out there and being able to prove myself that I'm ready, I think that helped me from a leadership standpoint. I'm able to be a leader more. And we saw that with Karan, especially. I mean, he's in the same boat, basically. It's hard for him to lead and from his position, but the way that he played, like, he tried to get the team rallied up, and he's been a leader this whole week. Like, that's what I saw out of him in high school. So it's good to see. Yep. Thank you.
A quick follow-up. Have you chatted with James at all? And did he tell you anything?
Yeah, actually, he was the first person to text me when I got back to my phone on Thursday after meetings. He was the first person to text me. He was like, "Be confident, go show everybody your potential. You got it." And I mean, that made me feel good. Like the relationship we've built is pretty impressive compared to some of the other guys across the nation. So that was really good to get that text from him. Then he texted me again on game day, and then I think the timing worked out. He texted me during the game. And I think it was after my first field goal. And he was like, "Let's go, like, proud of you." And like, that's big because like it shows we have more of a relationship than just like, "Oh, I want to win the job. You want to win the job. We're not going to like each other."
Cool. Thanks, Caleb.
Thank you.
Hey, Caleb, Minnesota's kicker missed a kick last week. You probably saw that. Just how do you feel when you see a kick competitor, a guy you play against, have that happen to him?
Yeah, I mean, we were sitting in the hotel Friday night, and I mean, I know they've had some struggles with their kickers getting hurt and stuff. And we're in the hotel, me and Ethan, and we see that, and I'm like, dang, like, I'm the backup kicker. I might have to be in the same position tomorrow. And then the drive happened at the end of the game, and I'm like, wait, like, we're actually here. I'm about to have to make an extra point to tie the game and send it to overtime. Like, it's crazy how like the timing works out of it. But no, I'm sure he's going to bounce back. I mean, it's not good to see other kickers. It doesn't feel good seeing them miss. Like, it's not like, oh, that makes me feel better. Like, he'll bounce back this week. They'll be good.
I was going to ask you, do you always find yourself rooting for the kicker? I guess unless they're playing against you guys.
Yeah, definitely. If I'm watching on TV, I'm rooting for the kicker. I mean, I know a lot of guys around the country, and I always want them to succeed. And
Sure.
if I don't know you, like, we're in the same position. I know the pressures you're going through. Like, kick it through.
And one last thing, who's your favorite kicker from here growing up? I mean, you saw a lot of guys come through here. You mentioned Chase. Who was the guy you really like looked up? You really thought was really a great kicker?
I don't know. Like, honestly, Chase was the first kicker, I think, since I started kicking. I remember number 17, I think Taylor Zalewski. I think that was the first kicker I remember seeing from Illinois. But seeing Chase in high school and then coming to camps and starting to build a relationship with him. And then we had the year here together, and then seeing him in the NFL. And we worked out this past summer a few times, and we have a good relationship. He had texted me too. Like, Chase is the guy I look up to, just seeing his drive and how he goes about things. Like, it's really good to have that as a resource.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Caleb, I had one follow-up. I'm sorry. You said you wanted to go into coaching. When did that start and why?
I don't know. Like, throughout my whole life, I've always like helped lead, like be a leader, and any coach, any player that I've played with, they'll tell you the same thing. Like, when I played basketball my senior year, like Coach Haupt said, "You're the coach on the court. Like, you make the calls." Like, and that's just what I've done for a while. Soccer, I did the same thing. Then I got here, and it's not easy when you have only two special teams coaches or one special teams coach and an analyst. So you need the guys in the room to step up and like help get people around. And I think I've been doing that the last 2 years. Like, I've just been coaching each position: punt returners, gunners, like punt protection, kickoff coverage. Like, I've just been getting in all the information, retaining all the information from our meetings, and able to help the guys out if they have questions, because they have a million things to worry about on offense and defense. So,
Thanks, Caleb.
yep, thank you. Happy belated birthday, Lauren. Good. Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
You know,